And we're back. It's early Sunday morning. It is 1:20 after midnight Saturday night. And the reason we are here, it is for a tornado warning that is currently in effect for parts of Marshall, DeKalb, Madison, and Jackson counties up in northeast Alabama. And again, you're looking at the radar. And the main concern, it's going to be northern Marshall, extreme southern, southeastern Madison. Again, this does not include Huntsville. Huntsville nowhere near this. Extreme southern Jackson and extreme western DeKalb counties up in northeast Alabama. And really the bulk of this warning involves northern Marshall. And we have a circulation right here that is near New Hope. And that's just crossed over U.S. Highway 431. And that's moving to the southeast. And that's about to cross over Lake Gunnersville. And it will be crossing over ultimately, if it holds together, into DeKalb County in northeast Alabama. So, again, this is a tornado warning that is in effect for basically northern Marshall. That's the main brunt of this. Eclipse, and again, it's basically sitting at the county line here, the Madison-Marshall County line. And now it's pretty much in Madison County. And again, the polygon clips extreme southern Jackson and extreme western DeKalb counties in northeast Alabama. So let's broaden this out and talk about the big picture. And again, you can see this is kind of a bow-shaped echo that's been coming through. And again, typically when you see these things bowing out like that, it's a straight-line wind event. The winds can be pretty strong. And occasionally, on the apex of the bow, you might see a brief spin-up tornado. And that's the reason for the warning here. And that is the only tornado warning in the whole state. And like we've talked about, the main issue, it's not tornadoes, but heavy rain and flooding. In fact, we'll kind of expand the view out here. And you can see the heaviest rain falling from near High Top, where the radar is located, down to areas east of Huntsville, into Morgan County around Hartselle, Faulkville, over into Winston County around Double Springs and Haleyville, Marion County around Winfield and Guin. And again, heavy rain and flooding, that's the main concern. But with that bow-shaped echo, the Weather Service in Huntsville is posting a severe thunderstorm warning for a pretty large area in advance of that. And this would include, again, not the tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for most of Marshall, southern Jackson, DeKalb counties in northeast Alabama. And the main issue here is strong straight-line winds. And also we note another warning for Jackson County. So basically all of Jackson County, all of DeKalb County, most all of Marshall County up in northeast Alabama, those three counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. And that's for the line that is coming through that is capable of producing strong straight-line winds. And again, within the line, there's some rotation that's going to be coming over Lake Gunnersville, and that's the reason for the tornado warning here. So that's the situation in northeast Alabama. Let's go down to the south, and again, you can see the storms extend through Winston, parts of Marion, Fayette, Lamar counties, and extreme northwestern Pickens. And we do note the Weather Service in Jackson, they have posted a tornado warning for a small part of Lowndes County, Mississippi, for this circulation that is south of Columbus. And as you can see, that's about to cross over into Pickens County, West Alabama. So a little heads up here that if you are in Pickens County, McShann, Ethelsville, Reform, Macedonia, a tornado warning could be required shortly for you. But again, for the moment, that is a tornado warning in effect for a small part of Lowndes, and a warning is coming. A tornado warning, it's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. That's the warning issued by the Weather Service in Birmingham. So again, in a moment, you're going to see a severe thunderstorm warning polygon popping up for parts of Pickens and Lamar counties for the storm complex coming out of Lowndes County, Mississippi. And again, that's a pretty tight couplet there. That's one of the better signatures we have seen on radar tonight. So again, we're getting evidence of what could be a tornado right in through here. And this is going to be for parts of Pickens County in West Alabama. And it will be a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, that'll be popping up here in just a second. So we have two areas of rotation we're watching. That's the first one that's south of Columbus, Mississippi, and we'll hold it here. There's our warning. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right in through here. That's the polygon, the yellow polygon for northwest Pickens County. And this is for a pretty small part of the county. And again, you've got Coalfire, Ethelsville, McShann. These are areas west of Reform. So again, in West Alabama, this severe thunderstorm warning does not include Reform or Gordo. Reform is here. Gordo is over here. This is Carrollton, the county seat. This is your polygon right here. And again, this is not a tornado warning polygon. This is a severe thunderstorm warning polygon. And again, within the message of the severe thunderstorm warning, the Weather Service indicates that a tornado is possible, and clearly we have pretty good rotation right here that's about to cross over into Pickens County. So just be aware we have that going on in West Alabama. And then the other issue is up here in the northeastern part of the state. Let's go back to the high-top Weather Service radar. And really and truly, it's hard to find a well-defined circulation here in Marshall County. There's a tornado warning polygon in effect, and we saw one earlier. But remember, on nights like this, mornings like this, we're looking at very brief, short-lived tornadoes that get down, they come right back up typically. And in this case, that might be the situation. But really and truly, we just don't see much in the way of rotation in through here that would represent a tornado. Still, having said that, as long as the polygon's in effect, we ask that you respect the polygon. And again, this is a tornado warning. And by the way, let me just point out that this does not include the city of Guntersville. I've referenced Lake Guntersville. You've got Grant here, which is in the polygon. Langston here. These are on the shore of the lake. New Hope is here. So these communities are in the polygon. Guntersville is not. Albertville is not. Boaz is not. So if you're in Guntersville, Albertville, Boaz, you're not in the polygon. This is for areas north of you, the northern part of Marshall County. And again, the complicating part of this, the warning touches parts of DeKalb County, and Fort Payne is over here. And again, Fort Payne, you are not in the polygon. And you got a tiny part of Jackson County. And again, you've got Scottsboro, which is right here, and you're not in the tornado warning polygon. Now, everybody is in a severe thunderstorm warning in northeast Alabama. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for basically all of Marshall, DeKalb, Jackson counties for that line of storms coming through. And again, what you're looking at on radar here, this is a strong wind signature right here. It's not really a tornadic signature. So that's the greater concern. It's for strong gusty winds with this line of storms as it comes through parts of northeast Alabama. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning for all of Jackson, all of DeKalb, and a pretty good chunk, basically all of Marshall counties. And again, within all of that, there is a tornado warning polygon, but we just don't see any rotation at this point. That's not a tornado signature. So it was there a little earlier, but it's basically gone away, which is good news. So, but again, as long as the polygon is in effect, we ask that people respect that and stay in a safe place, stay sheltered. Small interior room, hall, closet, bathroom, near the center. No windows. Helmet if you got one. And we do note the Weather Service is now going to issue a tornado warning that's in effect for Pickens County for the storm on the other side of the state here. So let's take a look at this. And again, you can see we have very strong evidence of storm rotation right here that's basically on the Alabama-Mississippi state line, moving northeast. And in terms of the major highways, you've got US 82, which is right here. And I want to stress a couple of things here. Again, this is for a small part of Pickens County. This is a tornado warning polygon. This does not include Reform. It does not include Gordo. It does not include Carrollton. It does not include Aliceville. It does not include Pickensville. So if you're in those cities, it does not include you. There's no danger of a tornado from this particular storm. None. The tornado warning polygon is for the extreme northwestern corner of Pickens County. And again, you've got Ethelsville, which is right here. This is US 82 from the Mississippi state line over to Reform. So again, in terms of travel, we advise that people not be traveling on US 82 between Columbus and Reform for about the next 15 minutes until this thing passes. And again, if it holds together, it might affect parts of Lamar or Fayette counties, but we don't know that yet. And again, we stress that we're not expecting long-track, violent tornadoes with these storms tonight. They're going to be the short-lived tornadoes that get down for a few minutes and typically go right back up. And again, some of the, like what Hunter's saying down at the Weather Service, he's correct. Some of this is side lobe contamination, which makes it a little tricky based on the configuration with the position in terms of the radar. But no doubt there's some well-defined circulation here. And the beam is about 2,400 feet off the ground, so it's pretty decent low-level sampling of this. And I think we'll know in the next few minutes. We'll watch the next volume scans to see if it stays intact like that. We saw some rotation earlier, broad rotation up around Millport and Kennedy in Lamar County. That fizzled out really quick. I mean, it just went away in a hurry. And again, we stress for most of the state, the main problem overnight is going to be heavy rain and the flooding potential. So let's go back to the storms over northeast Alabama. And again, we're just not seeing any evidence of clear, strong evidence of storm rotation with the storm up here in northeast Alabama. Maybe in the storm segment that might be a little close to Vance or Grant, I should say. But it's awfully noisy. So again, for the thunderstorm complex over northeast Alabama, the main concern coming from strong winds. And those stronger winds are approaching Scottsboro, Hollywood, Stevenson, up in northeast Alabama. And so again, if you're in Jackson County, Marshall, DeKalb, just be aware that this line of storms could produce some pretty strong straight-line winds as they come in. And again, I know we got the tornado warning. Everybody focuses on that, but there's just not a lot there. And again, you can see if we've got anything, it would be right here, which is just south of Grant. And again, this is coming right on top of Lake Gunnersville. This, again, we stress the city of Gunnersville is not in the polygon right here. Downtown Gunnersville, no. The polygon is in effect for areas north of Gunnersville. As we look at this together, but all up and down this line here, you've got strong straight line winds. And I will say there's evidence that there could be another little circulation trying to form down here, but that's just strong wind coming into Gunnersville. In fact, let's take a look at some of the numbers. And again, the beam is about 2,800 feet off the ground here, about 45 miles per hour. And again, down at the surface, it won't be quite that bad, but still, it'll be pretty gusty. So if you're in Gunnersville, it's about to get very windy, and you'll have heavy rain, thunder, lightning, the whole package, and maybe strong winds. So the Weather Service in Huntsville has canceled the tornado warning, which is good. So again, the Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for Marshall County. So if you're watching us in Marshall County, you can come out of your tornado safe place. We're down to severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for Jackson, for Marshall, for DeKalb counties. No tornado warnings for northeast Alabama. Severe thunderstorm warnings. And you could see winds gusting to 40, 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. So with that being the case, let's go back down to our storm in Pickens County. This is the other tornado warning we have in effect. And again, that particular rotation is crossing the state line right here. It should be crossing Highway 82 pretty soon. Again, the community of Ethelsville is right here. US 82 is right here. Reform is over here. So Reform, you're not in this. Gordo, you're not in this. Carrollton, no. Aliceville, no. And again, everybody's going to have rain and storms. I'm not saying you're not going to have a storm. You will. Everybody's going to get wet with thunder and lightning. But in terms of the tornado potential, that's going to be over northwest Pickens County. So again, that tornadic circulation, if anything is down, it is coming up on the community of Ethelsville in Pickens County. We'll check the correlation coefficient. We do not see a tornado debris signature, which is good. No indication of debris on radar, so that's a good thing. But still, even if you don't see a TDS, there could be a brief tornado that gets down. And again, with respect to the radar where it's currently located, there's a little side lobe contamination going on here, and we'll be clear of that here shortly, and we'll see if the rotation maintains itself in the next couple of volume scans as it comes up toward U.S. Highway 82. But we certainly stress that we don't want anybody driving along U.S. 82 between Reform and New Hope, Mississippi, Columbus, Mississippi, over the course of the next 15 to 20 minutes. And it'll be out of there by then. And again, as always, in the comments section, it's all what about my hometown? And it doesn't matter where you live, you're going to have rain, potential for flooding. That's really the greatest concern. Overnight tonight and during the day today, heavy rain and flooding potential. Rain amounts 2 to 3 inches. And we should note we have a flash flood warning in effect now for Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, and western Lawrence counties up in northwest Alabama. This includes Florence and the Shoals. And if you've not seen it, I'll show you some videos and photos here in a minute. There's been a lot of damage up in Florence and Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, Sheffield, with a severe storm that came through about 10 to 10:30 last night. Possibly a tornado involved. We had pretty decent rotational signatures on radar as it came across. We saw a lot of power flashes. And again, just be aware that you now got a flash flood warning. But the risk of severe storms has ended. If you're in Florence, Muscle Shoals, no more severe storms. Just a lot of rain, a lot. So a flash flood warning. And we're going to see a lot of flash flood warnings. This is for Franklin, Colbert, most of Lauderdale, and western Lawrence counties. And we note a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Cullman County for the line of storms coming in from the west. And we're typically in a case here where people say, well, in Winston County, there's no warning. In Cullman County, there is a warning. Same storm, what's the difference? And it's a difference between the culture of the Weather Service in Huntsville and Birmingham. And I'm not here to get into that, but I'm just saying it's a culture difference, and it makes it kind of hard on us. But the Weather Service in Huntsville believes a severe thunderstorm warning is needed for the line. The Weather Service in Birmingham does not. And remember, to be severe, for these warnings to verify, you've got to have 58-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch diameter hail. And we'll see if they verify. But no doubt, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, gusty winds. So in northeast Alabama, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for basically all of Cullman, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb counties for the line of storms as it comes through. And once the line passes, that pretty much ends your chance of any severe storms, and then everything shifts to heavy rain and flooding. But the heavier rain coming into Fayette, it'll be coming into Jasper, Smith Lake over the next hour or so. But the reason we're here is a tornado warning. This is in effect for a small part of Pickens County in West Alabama. And we'll take a look at our, well, not the quad, let's do side by side. And again, you can see evidence of strong winds or a tornadic circulation here that's moving northeast right up here toward Ethelsville. And from there, it's going to be crossing US 82 west of Reform, between Reform and the Alabama-Mississippi state line. And again, we're not seeing any indication of debris being lofted at this point. But the other thing we need to point out, remember now, if you're in Pickens County, a tornado is not going to affect the entire county. It will not. It's going to affect a small part of the county. That's a reason we have polygons, and we don't use counties. We haven't used counties in years. So again, if you're in Reform, Gordo, Aliceville, Carrollton, Pickensville, you're not in the warning. There's no danger of a tornado from this. This is for a small part of northwest Pickens County. And if it holds together, and that's a big if, a warning could be required for parts of Lamar and Fayette counties. And we'll just kind of watch this together. And this is one little spot where the high-resolution models did show a higher or an elevated STP value. STP is significant tornado parameter at about this hour of the day. So again, the HERD did a pretty good job with this, the HRRR model. In fact, let me show it to you here. There you go. That's the HRRR and the STP, and that actually was valid at midnight, but it's shifted a little bit south and east. But you can see that little elevated section of higher STP values across the western and northwestern part of the state. So having something like this at this hour is not that unexpected. But again, we stress for most of Alabama, it's going to be a heavy rain, flood type threat. And I agree that Hunter down at the Weather Service, he's saying it doesn't look quite right with velocity, and I think he's right. We're getting some side lobe contamination issues in here, and he will leave the warning up, but we've had no reports, and again, we're watching all the social media feeds. And by the way, thanks to everybody for the great pictures that we have seen over the course of the last several hours coming out of the shoals. Very, very, very helpful. But again, I agree with Hunter. That does not look quite right. That's a side lobe contamination issue. And again, I'm not totally convinced we have a tornado. But having said that, there is sign of an inflow notch over here in the reflectivity right here. And so there's definitely a chance there might be a tornado down here. And again, it's coming right up on Ethelsville, moving northeast like that. And ultimately, if there's anything there and if it stays together, it's going to wind up in southern Pickens County in West Alabama. So there's one tornado warning in the whole state, and it's this for the far northwestern part of Pickens County. And again, we stress this does not include Reform, Gordo, Aliceville, Carrollton, Pickensville. No, you're not in the warning. It's for Ethelsville, Coalfire, McShann, that far western part of Pickens County. So let's take a look at the big picture. And again, as this big, massive storm slowly moves to the south, and slowly is the key word here, the main concern is heavy rain. And let's take a look at the rest of the line here. And again, you can see we've got severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Cullman County, Marshall, DeKalb, Jackson. 4 counties up here in northeast Alabama. There are no warnings in effect for Walker, Fayette, or Winston. And again, that's a culture difference between different Weather Service offices, and that's a topic for another day. But I think it's safe to say with this line of storms, the biggest issue, like we've talked about, it's just heavy rain. Could there be some strong winds? Yes, sure, in spots. Whether they're up to 58 miles per hour, I don't think so in most spots, but we'll see. Again, I'm watching all the reports very carefully on the social side over here. And again, it's not seeing any reports of any damage or any major problems at this point. So we'll watch the line carefully here, and let's animate that. And you can see how it's moving deeper into Alabama early this morning. It's a very slow process for Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. It could be 5, 6 o'clock this morning before the storms arrive. And because that's the big problem is this slow southward progression. Some spots are going to see tremendous amounts of rain here. And again, that's the greatest concern. The chance of a tornado is low for the rest of the event, not zero, but low. I just don't think we'll have many more tornado warnings. We've got one, that small part of northwestern Pickens County. And we do note another warning back over in eastern Mississippi. In fact, let's look at the Jackson, Mississippi radar and see what's we got cooking over here. And again, you can see what might be some rotation right here. That's northeast of Carthage, Mississippi, moving up toward Noxapater. We'll keep an eye on that. It's not an overwhelming signature, but again, possibly something is there. But let's go back into Pickens County, and that's the reason we're here. And the one thing, listen, some people get on here and just yak away for hours. I don't like to do that. I mean, I don't like to do that. I'm here when you need me, but if it's just raining, you don't need me to sit on the stream for 6 hours and say it's raining. You can figure that out on your own. We're here when we have tornado warnings in effect, and again, you can see that couplet is over Ethelsville in Pickens County. And again, I just think there's some contamination going on here that doesn't quite look right. If you want to do some late night reading, search side lobe contamination. And you see some of the issues we find. Radar seems easy at the surface, but in a way it's kind of complicated. It's sending out beams of electromagnetic and magnetic energy that are coming off raindrops or other targets. And the whole process is really pretty complicated. And, of course, it's coming off moving raindrops. It comes back a little differently, the Doppler shift, and we can calculate wind velocities inbound and outbound. Let me look at the storm relative velocity. And, again, it's still there. It looks a little better that way. But let's tilt it up a little bit. And it's still there on some of the higher tilts. We can see the different rotation levels in different parts of the storm. But that's the lowest tilt. And again, clearly there's some rotation at least aloft going on here. The radar beam is 2,100 feet off the ground at Ethelsville. So we'll sit with you for a while longer here this morning. We're at 147. This is James. And I would imagine Evan or Riley, they're on the TV side. We've kind of got a odd situation on the schedule tonight. I was scheduled to be down in Foley, down on the Gulf Coast. I've got to talk at a school there on Monday, but I've held it here tonight because of the weather. But they're going to cover the TV side. I'll cover the live streaming side. And that rotation is right on top of US 82, moving pretty rapidly northeast. And again, if this thing holds together, it could wind up in southern Lamar. So if you are in Millport or Kennedy, up here in southern Lamar County, just be aware that we've got some mischief to the south and southwest of you that could impact you in just a bit. And again, concerning the rest of the line, the Weather Service in Huntsville has gone with severe thunderstorm warnings for Cullman, Marshall, DeKalb, and Jackson. The Weather Service in Birmingham is not. They're going to go with just a special weather statement about the storm segment in Winston, Walker, and Fayette. And again, I hear this all the time, but yeah, it is severe. And if you ask 10 different people, what is a severe storm to you, they're going to give you 10 different answers. For some people, if it's raining really heavily, that's a severe storm. If there's nonstop lightning and the thunder is really loud and it's shattering the windows, that's a severe storm. But you've got to have an official definition, and the official definition has nothing to do with any of that. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, weird-looking clouds. It's exclusively with high wind and large hail. 58-mile-per-hour winds or greater, or 1-inch hail in diameter or larger. And that's what makes a storm severe. And if the storm's got 40, 45-mile-per-hour winds, it's not severe by definition, and it doesn't need a warning. And again, you've got to have a definition in here, and you just can't issue a severe thunderstorm warning for every storm that comes along. Nobody will pay attention to the warnings, and it's almost that way now. So, but all these storms, heavy rain, that's the main situation. And again, they're moving to the south very, very slowly. The individual cells are racing northeast, but the big mass itself just drifting ever so slowly southward. And again, for Birmingham, it could be 5, 6 o'clock this morning. It's 3, 4 hours away before it gets in here. So just be aware of that. And if you're down in Montgomery, it might be late this morning, 10, 11 o'clock. And again, if you're down in the Gulf Coast, it might be this afternoon or even this evening before the storms get in here. So it's 1:50. We have a tornado warning for a very small part of Pickens County in West Alabama for a storm that is showing good evidence of rotation. And again, you can see that rotation is now cleared US 82. So let's give an all clear to US 82 and point south. Down here, Ethelsville, Macedonia, you're good. The risk of a tornado is ended there. The concern is now north of US 82 and west of Alabama Highway 17. And again, that signal, the rotation is coming up towards southern Lamar. And we're about to find out here in a second if the Weather Service is going to extend this into Lamar and Fayette, which they might not. We'll find out. Again, so far we've not heard of any reports out of Pickens. Got some video coming in from Reform, and it's just lightning. Everybody's seeing all the lightning, which is fairly common. And again, we'll show you some of the video coming from the shoals. There's been a lot of damage in Florence and Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, places like that. And we'll show you some of that here in just a second. But again, there's again kind of an odd-looking velocity couplet here. There's some side load contamination going on here. But clearly, we've got some rotation involved here. The lightning is very intense. In fact, we pretty much know that. We can show some of that here. In fact, let me do a little reset here. And we'll take a look at some of that sharp lightning that has been in play over in Pickens County in West Alabama. It is a free show for the world to see. Nature's fireworks. So let's see what we got here. And there you go. That's what the sky looks like in Pickens County right now. Pretty much nonstop lightning. Very, very, very wicked lightning for sure. And again, this video was taken from Reform in Pickens County. And a lot of folks, again, they always ask, can I go to sleep? I never know how to answer that. If you got a weather radio, sure. I mean, if there's a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, that thing will wake you up. But some people just like to stay up and watch the weather, which is fine. That's what we do. We don't sleep much this time of the year, but that's just part of it all. So let's go back to the radar. We are here because of a tornado warning that is in effect for a small part of Pickens County in West Alabama for that rotation you see that is north of U.S. Highway 82, west of Alabama Highway 17, well northwest of Reform. And again, this will not affect Reform at all. But it could impact Millport and Kennedy up in Lamar County. I totally agree with Hunter down at the Weather Service. I think there's a lot of side lobing going on here, and it's not maybe as bad as it looks. It's not matching up with reflectivity much at all. We should note the Weather Service is issuing a flash flood warning for Marion, Lamar, Winston, and northern Fayette counties. And again, that's our main concern here. It's heavy rain. So, that's just a messy-looking velocity display. I'm not so sure they'll extend that warning. So let's put just on the rain here. And again, let me go to the Birmingham site. And let's loop the radar. And just pouring rain. Absolutely pouring rain. A warning is coming in minutes for Lamar, Marion, Winston, Northern Fayette. A flash flood warning. We have flash flood warnings to the north now for most all of Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, western Lawrence counties in northwest Alabama. The polygons that pop up in green on this map, those are flash flood warning polygons. And over in Mississippi, pretty much the whole northern half of the state is just covered up in them. The yellow polygons, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And those cover Cullman, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb counties. And that's for the possibility of strong gusty winds. I don't think they're severe in the classic sense. I've not seen any evidence of 58-mile-per-hour winds. But still, it's going to be gusty and heavy rain, thunder, lightning, the whole package. And all up and down that line. We've got that in progress early this morning. It's kind of a rude late night or early morning wake-up call, if you will. And that will slowly progress southward here. Let's look at quickly some of the images from last night. This is some storm damage at Center Star, which is east of Florence. This is some of the video taken from Wilson Dam overlooking Florence. And in a minute, you're going to see a really wicked lightning strike. I'm not so sure we have a tornado in this image here. We got some rain shafts. But whoa, that's pretty impressive. And just a whole lot of trees are down across the shoals. All of this damage occurred about 10 to 10:30 last night, and we did a pretty good velocity signature suggesting a small tornado could be involved. There's been a pretty good bit of damage at a mobile home park in the shoals. I've not heard of any injuries at this point. But back to the radar. And what the Weather Service is going to do, they are going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Lamar and Fayette counties for this line, and not a tornado warning. And I really think that's the right thing to do. I will tell you what they've done in Birmingham with Kevin Laws. Kevin is the SOO, the Science Operations Officer, in reducing the number of false alarms. It's an amazing program. It's unbelievably good. And they've cut back the number of false alarms. So warnings mean something when it comes out of there. And, the easiest thing to do is to hit a warning button. Warn. But when 90% of the warnings are false, what good are them? So instead of a tornado warning, the Weather Service in Birmingham is going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Lamar and Fayette counties, here and here. And, of course, we have the warning in effect for northwestern Pickens. And I would suggest there might be some hail involved here at Millport. That's the first time we've really seen a good hail signature. The same thing for this storm that's west of Fayette. So there could be some hail, strong gusty winds. Hail may be up to an inch in diameter. Winds may be in spots gusting to 60. So, again, the latest warnings, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for southeastern Lamar and southwestern Fayette counties. These are not tornado warnings, but severe thunderstorm warnings. The city of Fayette is involved. Kennedy and Millport in it as well. Vernon is not. Sullivan is not. Hubbartville is not. So with that being the case, that really takes out our tornado warnings. And we should also mention, too, there's a flash flood warning in effect now for much of Lamar, Fayette, Marion, Winston. And also the flash flood warnings in effect for Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, and western Lawrence. And again, we're going to see a whole bunch of flash flood warnings this morning. And again, that's the main issue here. It's the heavy rain and flooding. But again, up in northeast Alabama, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Cullman, parts of Marshall, parts of Jackson, DeKalb counties for the line of storms. And again, there could be some hail, strong gusty winds. And over here in West Alabama, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Fayette, Lamar counties. And I would say pretty good size hail is falling right on top of Millport right now. That could easily be up to 1 inch in diameter, which is the severe criteria. So at least quarter-sized hail is falling with the storm here. And again, it's all moving northeast. The band itself is just sagging very, very slowly southward. So again, what they're going to do, they're going to leave that tornado warning for Pickens in for a few more minutes, but it will not be extended. So again, we'll go back and look at the velocity display. And again, it looks really, really, really bad, but again, we've got some side lobing going on here, and we're not totally convinced that it's as bad as it looks. Still, though, if you're in Pickens County, north of US 82, west of Alabama Highway 17, as a course of least regret, you want to stay sheltered until the tornado warning expires. And it will expire in less than 15 minutes at 2:15 this morning. And we've got this outflow boundary in the area, and sometimes an outflow boundary can kill off rotation or make it spin up even more. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of volume scans. And we'll stay with you here for a little while longer since we've still got a tornado warning in effect for West Alabama. And again, watching all the reports on all the social platforms, and we are thankful for all of the images that you send us because it is our window to the world. No sign of any damage at this point with this Pickens County storm or any of the storms up in northeast Alabama, which is a very good thing. We hope it stays that way, but a lot of reports of extremely heavy rain. And listen, it's rough out there. It's pouring rain for those of you that are underneath these storms. And you've got gusty winds. Thunder is very loud. And again, I really do think with this situation up here in Lamar County, the biggest issue, it's going to be hail that's falling at Millport and Kennedy. That's Alabama Highway 96 that kind of snakes through here. This is Alabama Highway 17 that goes up toward Vernon. So severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for southern Fayette and southeastern Lamar for the possibility of strong gusty winds and large hail. And we still have, for a few more minutes, this tornado warning in effect down here for extreme northwestern Pickens County for that rotation that is north of US 82, west of Alabama Highway 17. And again, we'll go back to the big picture, and you can see up in the northeastern part of the state, we have, there's a new tornado warning that's just popped up. This is for northern DeKalb County. So this is a new tornado warning, and this polygon does include Fort Payne, Valley Head, Mentone, Rainsville, Henniger, Sylvania. So let's take a look at the velocity display and see what we've got here. And again, it's, I would imagine what they're looking at is right in through here. You see the little pendant on the reflectivity for the storm that's not too far from Powell. It's between Rainsville and Section. It was just up on that road a couple of Saturdays ago. We had a big book signing at Scottsboro. It's a beautiful drive up on Sand Mountain. And again, that circulation is moving to the east-northeast. Interstate 59 is right here. Of course, US 11 is parallel to Interstate 59 that comes through Fort Payne. And again, this is not your classic type couplet that you see with tornadoes, but it looks like Huntsville's trying to catch any little spin up that they can here. So again, broad rotation that is currently located a little to the west of Rainsville, out toward the community of Powell in northeast Alabama, moving northeast. And again, this could, if it holds together, if there's anything there, affect Fort Payne. But it's pretty much right along Alabama Highway 35. 35 runs from Fort Payne up to Section and Scottsboro. So Fort Payne is down here, and most likely this rotation is going to stay north of Fort Payne. Valley Head is here. Of course, that's down at the base of the mountain. Up on Lookout Mountain, you've got Mentone. Fife is down here. Fife, you are not in the polygon. Geraldine down here, you are not in the polygon. It's all north of Fife and north of Geraldine. Eider up here, Pisgah up here. No, it's all south of you. So again, a broad rotation that's near Powell along Highway 35 just west of Rainsville that'll be ultimately crossing Interstate 59 north of Fort Payne. And let me bounce over to the Huntsville Weather Service office, and they might have another one in effect here. No, they do not. Okay, just that one. Again, looking at some of the other reports here. So, and again, we stress that in addition to that tornado warning, we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from Cullman up to Lake Gunnersville and up to Lookout Mountain and ultimately Chattanooga, Tennessee. The main concern, it's heavy rain and flooding. But again, within the line, there could be a few spots where we got strong gusty winds right in through here. And the line is just sagging southward. It's going to take its time. So a tornado warning in effect here for, as you can see, parts of DeKalb County and northeast Alabama. And technically also a small part of Jackson County as well. But really that broad circulation is pretty much across the line now. It's on past section, and it's going to pass near just north of Rainsville. So again, this is one of the two circulations we've got, and it's very, 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 very broad here. It looks more like just a strong gusty wind type signature, quite frankly. But still, got a tornado warning in effect there. Let's go down to our storm that is in Pickens. The other small tornado warning on the board, just a very small part of northern Pickens, and that has really started to go away. I think we're starting to lose the side lobing, and again, you can see it's very broad, and I don't believe that the Weather Service will issue any tornado warning for Lamar or Fayette. I just don't think that's needed. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of southeastern Lamar and southern Fayette counties. That's not a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, the rotation is just really gone away. It's just not there. And I'm not totally convinced it was as good as it looked on the radar. So again, the warning for northwestern Pickens will be expiring here very shortly. So let's kind of go back to a big picture look here. 2:08 a.m., we have that one tornado warning for Pickens that's about to expire, and a tornado warning for a very small part of Jackson and parts of DeKalb counties up here in northeast Alabama. So again, this is our northeast Alabama tornado warning. This is the west central Alabama tornado warning. And again, this one is about to go off the board in just a few minutes, and that the rotation has pretty much gone away. And I'm not so sure we had that much to start with, but again, I think that's the right decision, was to issue a warning on that. So the other warning is up here, but again, all within the line here. You could see strong gusty winds, 30, 35, 40 miles an hour, maybe higher in spots. And we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for a pretty good chunk of Cullman, Marshall, DeKalb, and a small part of Jackson counties in advance of the line. Now, once the leading edge of this thing passes by, it's just going to rain for hours. And that's the greatest flooding concern here. So let's stop the animation and let's take a look at our, at our storm up in northeast Alabama. Let's go to the HTX radar. And it's just tough to see any evidence of a tornado in through here. It's just really not there. We got the chance of some strong gusty winds, yes. But strong evidence of a tornado, no. But still, despite that, there's a warning polygon up, and again, this includes Fort Payne, Valley Head, Mentone. And again, I would say for section, all this is past you. You're fine. Dutton up here is fine. Powell is fine. But right in through here, we'll just kind of watch for any sign of any rotation that might pop up over the next 15 to 20 minutes. But the main concern, heavy rain and strong gusty winds with this line. So let's go back to our other storm. We're kind of bouncing back between the two of them. This is the segment down here in Pickens that's coming up into southeastern Lamar and southwestern Fayette counties. No real evidence of a tornado here, but there is evidence of pretty strong winds and maybe some hail. In fact, earlier we had a really good hail core near Millport. That kind of has gone away. There might be some small hail, but again, evidence there might be some stronger winds right in here near Kennedy. But again, that tornado warning is about to go off the board for Pickens. At 2:15 it expires. That's in 4 minutes. They'll just let it ride out, and it goes out there by itself. But again, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for southeastern Lamar, southwestern Fayette counties. And the severe thunderstorm warning does include the city of Fayette, which is right here. So that's the situation in West Alabama. And again, we'll go up to the northeast part of the state. And we just don't see a tornado on radar at this point. The winds are gusty, absolutely. Straight line winds. And of course, once you get up on top of Lookout Mountain, that elevation, it'll be windier up there, over 1,500 feet, 15 to 1,800 feet up in there, through there. So it'll be windy up on the mountain. And of course, there's almost nonstop thunder and lightning. That's part of the show. But again, I just can't see any strong evidence of a tornado at this point. I mean, that's a good thing. But still, again, I will tell you the minute that tornado warning polygon is canceled, but it's still there. And I know the hardest thing to do when you've got young children, you got to wake them up at 2 o'clock on a Sunday morning, take them down to the hallway, the closet, the bathroom, the basement, whatever your shelter is, and put a helmet on them. And they're probably cranky, and you're probably cranky. I totally understand that, but it is the right thing to do in a situation like this. But again, on the positive side, we just don't see much there at all. There's no tornado circulation at the moment. Totally outflow dominant. Nothing really on the inflow side. And again, I would imagine Huntsville should cancel this pretty soon. And the minute they do, we will let you know, and you can get the kids back in bed, and everything will be somewhat back to average if they decide to go back to sleep. All right, so that's northeast Alabama. Let's take a look at the big picture here. We are at 2:13 a.m., a middle-of-the-night squall line. How many of these things have we worked over the years? I've been doing this 47 years, and I'll say a bunch. And the storms are obnoxious. They're loud, heavy rain, some flooding, gusty winds. But in the overall scheme of things, we're getting off the hook here compared to what our neighbors have been dealing with in Arkansas and Tennessee and Missouri. Nothing like that. And the overall tornado threat is low. Obviously not zero, but it's low for the rest of the morning and through the day today. We're just mainly concerned about strong, gusty winds and mainly heavy rain. We've got flash flood warnings in effect now for parts of Lamar, Marion, Winston, Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, western Lawrence counties. Those are flash flood warnings in effect. And you can see that the rain just keeps on coming, and it's going to rain for hours. And we're probably going to see some spots going over 3 inches, I think, with this. These will be very efficient rain producers. So at 2:15, the tornado warning is off the board for Pickens. As expected, it's gone. And the tornado warning has just been canceled for DeKalb. So there you go. 2:15, we now have no tornado warnings for any part of Alabama. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Lamar, Fayette, Cullman, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb counties. And we have flash flood warnings in effect for parts of Lamar, Marion, Winston, Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, and western Lawrence counties. But again, we stress no tornado warnings. The warning up here for DeKalb is now off the board. That's been canceled by the Weather Service in Huntsville. There's no tornado there. You just can't have a tornado warning when there's no tornado. So if you're in Fort Payne or Mentone or Valley Head, you can put the kids back to bed. You can hopefully resume some sleep here. Now, you'll have a noisy storm to deal with, but noisy storms don't make them severe. Gusty winds, yes. But tornado, no, at this point. So at 2:16, we're out of tornado warnings. And again, we'll stop the stream here in a minute. And again, my policy, and I said this before, I'm not here just to yak away about rain. In fact, I got a lot of things I've got to do. And again, it's just that's not what I do. I'm here when we got tornado warnings, when there's serious weather. And sometimes severe thunderstorm warnings can be serious when you've got a derecho going on or some high-impact event. But for routine storms, no, you don't need some guy just yakking away. But again, thanks to everybody for the images. I'll keep posting some of the updates on the social media channels on X, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to see some of the damage coming in from the shoals, they had a really rough ride up there, 10 to 10:30 last night. Could be a small tornado. We don't know that yet. We'll find out once we get the storm survey back tomorrow from the Weather Service in Huntsville, assuming they have the staffing to do that. So again, we'll kill the stream off here in just a minute. But if we need to come back, we'll do that. That's the one nice thing about it in the new world, the new digital world. We don't have to cut off any programs or worry about anything like that. I saw where a few markets had to cut off the Final Four game last night. And, ooh, don't you know the haters were out in full force. Hey, haters going to hate. They'll have plenty of opportunities to say good morning to everybody. But this guy, with some of the stuff I've seen on social media tonight. But again, so at 2:17, if you're just joining us, we're about to stop the stream. We have no tornado warnings. Zero. No tornado warnings in effect. The warning up here for DeKalb County, that has been canceled. The warning for Pickens expired 3 minutes ago. And we have storms that are producing some small hail and gusty winds and mainly heavy rain lined up from Kennedy and Millport to Fayette, Carbon Hill, Smith Lake, Vinemont, Lake Gunnersville, and Scottsboro up in northeast Alabama. And it's a very slow process. The line will ultimately orient east-west and then drop south, reaching Birmingham 5, 6 a.m. Same for Tuscaloosa and Anniston. And again, I just don't think we have any more tornado warnings. Could there be one? Yes, but probably not. But a flash flood warning, yes. I expect a whole lot of those over the course of the night tonight. So again, thank you for watching here. We will stop this stream and we'll come back if need be. So we'll pay attention to the weather. Watch my social feeds for updates, and we'll talk soon.